here we are back in Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel, and we are now going to wrap up the chapter. Sadly, I will put out a disclaimer here that this video is almost entirely scenes. There's only going to be like 3 or 4 fights of interest throughout the entire thing. So, hopefully you guys are comfortable because there's going to be a lot of talking.
Yeah!
That's one of the Imperial Army's airships.
This situation is looking worse by the minute.
We need to hurry.
Those are armored cars from the Imperial Army.
Damn, this isn't looking good.
can't let them get away!
Right. We need to overtake them.
Yeah!
Crap, they're fast.
Just don't lose sight of them.
Down near the stone circle? There's no escape for them now. I think that about covers everything. Now, what to do? It'd be easy enough to overpower them, but there's a good chance some of them would get away. But just killing them all seems really cruel, too.
Halt! Stay where you are!
Ooh, it's the military academy students.
She knows about us?
How?
Just who are you?
And what's that thing beside you?
So, who are you? Were you involved with the attacks on the Watchtower and the Republican Army's base?
We'd rather not accuse you of a crime you didn't commit. But can you at least tell us who you are and what you're doing here?
Aw, how did I end up being the bad guy? This is gonna make things a bit sticky. Oh, I know what I can do! Everything will go hunky-dory if you guys help me out.
What?
What are you talking about? But first, I hope you won't mind if I give you a little test, just to be sure you're up to the challenge.
Is that a challenge?
I'm Millium Orion. And this is Golem, but you can just call him Lammy for short. Okay, let's get started!
And to start things off, here we go against the Lolly and her robot.
Let's get
So in
started!
case you're wondering, they are a single unit. You only have to worry about fighting one of them, Millium.
Turn to flames!
They don't ever separate, it's just she's the vulnerable
Leave it to me.
target, and when she's incapacitated, the machine goes with her. So to start things off, I'm trying to apply some
Here we
status
go.
effects.
There!
Ultimately, she's not the type of target where I have to worry about buffs, but don't worry, there will be one of those in this video. You can see she packs a little bit of a punch,
Analyzing the
in this
enemy's
case
vitals.
literally, but it does about a quarter of Rain's health overall. For the
All
girls, it's going to
complete.
be a little bit worse because they don't have state-of-the-art armor. Here you can read the information about Millium. You can see she doesn't have any particular weaknesses.
Get 'em!
Now this is one of her crafts.
Here we go!
It is AoE, as you can see. It does apply feint, which is kind of unfortunate because status effects when applied to you last for 3 turns. When you apply them to a boss, they only last 1. That kind of sucks. In my opinion, it'd probably be a little bit better if the status effects only lasted maybe 2 turns. That would at least put a little bit of gravity to them, but
My turn.
pretty much with just how lucky she got, my hands are tied. There's nothing I can do to save Elise. I have to wait for Angel to pop, and then I can start to turn this battle around.
Arcus, activate.
So right here what I'm actually trying to do is keep Gaius alive.
Go.
Because when she being Millium, uses her Buster Arm, it renews the stun time. Right there you can see that did not hit Gaius, which is important. It missed Emma, which is fortunate. And Angel pops, that means Elise, Elisa, that's her name, comes back without any sort of status effect on her. Now the thing is, I need to heal her and get her away from the rest of the group so I don't have to worry about the things AoE. Sadly for this chapter, AoE attacks is kind of a theme, and I'm wondering if it's just going to persist throughout the rest of the game. It really does suck that the enemy's AoE attacks have bigger ranges and radii than your spells. So, things I'm talking about are things along the lines of breath, auto drive, your various buffs, such as, I believe it's La Cresta, the defense one, or even for Tuna, the offensive one. So, you can get the buffs off at the start of the fight, but good luck keeping them going the rest of the fight. It's entirely possible there are higher level versions of the spell that will unlock later on as we go. It's just, right now, you have to suffer through the early game. Although things are getting better all the time as we get more and more orbments, quartz I mean, for our orbments, and I can unlock more and more slots. So I believe I do unlock all of Elisa's slots off camera. In case you're wondering, I'm using Detector on her once again just to try to get some weak attacks in. I'm kind of hoping Gaius can get lucky and maybe get a link or two. I guess the same applies to Reem, but usually Gaius is the one that I look to for link attacks. You can see my luck did not actually materialize.
Let's go.
So another Silver Thorn, that's one of Elisa's better spells. You don't really have to worry about your EP after this fight, you'll have the opportunity to heal. It's just you need to make sure you don't run out before the boss dies, because that's where things can get a tad dicey. So we're doing some nice chunks of damage, all things considered, and it's only a matter of time before she caves in. According to my clock, it'll be less than a minute. And she really has something against Reem. I don't know what though. So in case you're wondering, I popped Rush here because I was trying to get an overkill. I failed to get it. I didn't even kill the damn thing. And right here, I'm still trying to get that overkill because I want the 10% EXP modifier. So I'm healing Reem just to burn the turn.
It's my turn.
I'm going to use Flambearers to try to weaken her a bit more. So I believe you have to do 5 times the opponent's remaining health or more in order to get that overkill bonus. So I'm trying to get her as low as possible. Bad news is the counterattack did finish her off. Good news is we got Deadly Reprisal instead, so we still get the 10% mod. In the end, we walk away with 1.2. Sadly, there's no Sepith payout, but we got some EXP, that helps. And now it's time for some more scenes.
Wow, you guys are pretty tough. Yep, looks like you'll be great for the job, all right.
We've had quite enough of your wild chases and your games.
You were the one who attacked both of those military facilities, weren't you? Oh, no, that wasn't me. Ugh, what can I say to make you believe me?
Just tell us what you can. Anything you know that might help us find out who was actually responsible.
You said you wanted our help? If helping you would restore peace to the Highlands, we're ready to help out however we can. But you have to talk to us. Help us understand what's happening.
Come on, you two.
I hope you don't come to regret your naivete.
You said your name was Millium, right? we really don't have much time. So could you tell us what it is you want our help with?
Well, what I want you to help me with is capturing the small armed group responsible for attacking the watchtower and the Republican Army's base. What did you just say? You saw those mortars earlier, right? There's a bunch more hidden near the Republican Army's base. I'm guessing it was the same group that set them up at both locations.
Wait.
Do you have any idea who this armed group might be?
Well, I'm not 100% sure or anything. But they look like a bunch of Jaeger dropouts, so I'm guessing they're working for a pretty meaty chunk of Mira. I was on my way to go find out for sure.
Wait, then
You know where they are?
Sure do. They're up in the north of the Highlands. If you promise to help me out, I'd be happy to show you the way. So, how about it?
all right. You have our aid. I'm Reen Schwarzer, Thor's Military Academy, Class 7.
Gaius Warzel.
I'm Elisa Reinford. It's, nice to meet you.
My name is Emma Milstein. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Eustace Alberea. And just so you know, you still have much to answer for regarding your intrusion into Auroch's fort.
You knew that was us, huh? It'd be super cool if we could just, put that whole thing behind us for the time being.
If we must.
Now.
Nice to meet you all, too. Anyway, what are we just hanging around here for? Let's make for the north of the Highlands.
All right. But I'd like to swing by the settlement first.
Yeah, you should use your telephone to report back to Zendergate about everything we found out so far.
Okay, let's get going then. Oh, yeah. Are you going to be riding on the back of your thing?
Well, I could, but I think I'm gonna ride on the back of your horse instead.
Wait, what?
Lammy!
Whoa! It vanished.
And the way it did so seems familiar somehow.
Come on, are we going or not? Let's go catch us some big bad wannabe Jaegers! Woohoo! This is amazing!
If you keep squirming around back there, you're gonna fall off.
not might. We will make it in time.
And as for this guy, I
This one
described
looks
him as
dangerous.
being the
Be
hardest
careful.
fight in the chapter, all things considered.
My turn!
You'll see how bad it is once I start hitting him, and I actually do scan him. Key thing of note is all four of my guys get to move before he does. That's why I'm using the setup I'm using. If this were not the case, my first bit of advice is
Analyzing the
spread the
enemy's
hell out. This guy's strategy does involve AoE, and you
I've
do
got
that.
it.
Check out those elements. Wind is neutral, then every other element has reduced damage. I believe water was 90%, the others were like 50 and 60. So as a result for this guy, you have to rely on either wind spells, which are so-so, but you do have some like Spark Arrow, Aerial, stuff like that.
Marcus, activate.
But you're going to be relying on Time, Space, and Mirage spells. So right here we have a Space spell. I got extremely lucky. One thing I forgot to point out here real quick was, if you didn't actually notice on the enemy's stat screen, he is resistant to every stats effect that he's not actually immune to. So there's no one stats effect that trumps the others in trying to apply here. They all have something like a 20% application rate if they're not immune. Like I said, he's immune to most of the stuff. I was lucky to get the blind to apply, but that was a 20% chance. You may not be so fortunate. And one thing that does go my way to smooth out this fight is I get extremely lucky in that it takes him forever to land some of these
Leave it to me.
hits. I will admit the boss is unusually quick, all things considered, and like, the annoying thing about this guy is he has sky-high HP and defense, physical attacks, so hurt him, he resists most elements. His attacks are AoE, he's quick enough to actually apply those,
I can do
and
this.
he actually does enough damage to far surpass
Let's
your
go.
healing spells. So you're pretty much in a race here. You have to take him down before he takes you down, because it is only a matter of time before you go down.
It's my turn.
As for guys, I'm fishing for link attacks. Since he only has that one ring spell, his contribution here is fairly limited. And you can see Emma is the one that I'm pretty much banking on. She can deal up to 3,000 damage with that scythe move. Now when you factor in Reen's damage, I can easily do about 4,000 a turn.
Okay.
Anything else that the other characters do is just bonus on top of that, and luckily Emma's EP pool is big enough to actually keep
Leave
up
it to me.
casting now. You can see that Elisa's is not.
I can do
I
this.
have her using Golden Sphere for the most part just to do a little bit of chip damage and maybe get lucky and blind him, so I have one round to do whatever I want while he can't really attack. Another thing working to my advantage here is that while the monster is really fast, the way I have Reen set up, he's faster. So as a result, I can get a ton of soul blurs off in the time that it takes him to actually get his move. Like I said, I got really lucky here with how many attacks he fails to connect.
It's my turn. Arcus, activate.
It's my turn.
Now, sadly, he does have a global AoE move where it will hit all my guys. It's just you have to get him low enough to where he'll start using that, and then the race is on. You have to kill him before he kills you.
Right. Let's go.
So we have a soul blur for another 1100. Golden sphere, this does like 400, I think. I haven't really been paying attention to it. 300. There it is. So as you can see, Elisa and Emma can't actually take a second hit from that. I have to heal them up
It's
before
my turn.
he uses that again to actually kill
Arcus,
them.
activate.
As for Emma, since she's my primary caster here, I want Gaius and Elisa to serve as support and provide. Now, Earth Pulse is actually good to use there because you get the healing on the turn you cast the spell. So even though her turn passed, when she casts the Demonic Scythe, she gets healed.
Right.
Now, I have Earth Pulse on both Elisa and Gaius so I can take advantage of this because Earth Pulse is pretty broken, all things considered. It's pretty much your premier healing spell, and since it works off a percentage, it's only going to get better and better. The caster's attack stat doesn't, or spell stat doesn't quite matter as much. That's why I have Gaius doing it. Since his spells really leave a lot to be desired damage, if not just outright suck, you can use Earth Pulse and still get something worthwhile on this turn here by turning him into a support unit. Like I said, since it scales off of the actual owners of the buffs' HP, it's just much, much better.
It's my turn.
So we have him down to 4,000.
Turn to flames.
I think I don't know why I used Flame Bearers there. Oh, that's right. Okay, so the reason why I used that is I wasn't sure if the Golem was going to use another Shaker move, and I needed to get a turn off with Elisa immediately so she could get her healing from Earth Pulse. So by doing that, she got the heal. That way I still did a little bit of DPS. The turn didn't go entirely to waste, and I got a little bit of security to continue going on with my onslaught. So in case you're wondering why I did Flambears there, since it was a somewhat erratic move, since you've seen how I've been fighting up till now, yes, but there was significance to it. Even if it did not quite materialize, it did matter. So I used the rush here to get the overkill bonus. Granted, it is only 10%, it's still going to be a lot.
The winds must be on our side.
They must be, because that was a breeze.
So you can see level ups to be had all around. This probably would be easier if you used Millium, it's just I'm sticking with the party I have.
I did it!
This whole thing is Gaius'
Making
fight.
progress.
He deserves to be able to fight it, and I kind of need the girls there for support. So if anyone were to get the boot here, it'd probably be Reem. So we defeated the monster, we got a quartz that I'm going to equip... Actually, I think I put that on Gaius so that he has an earth spell as well as the stats you get from it. Gives you strength and defense as well as an earth spell or two, in case you're wondering. All around, a very good quartz. And your reward for doing this whole quest is just a handful of consumable items. Helpful in that they save you Mira, yes, since it's so scarce in this game, but... like I said, that was the hardest fight in the entire chapter. I would like something a bit more than some consumables.
The ancient quarry is this way, right?
Yep, just round the back of this statue.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
So this is the ancient quarry. Crazy to think it dates all the way back to the Neolithic era over 1,000 years ago.
And that an evil djinn is sealed away here.
Well, that's what the legends say, but no one really knows for sure.
And you're sure that armed group you mentioned is hiding in here?
It seems likely.
Yep, I think they're probably lying low deep down in the quarry. I mean, I know they're here. I saw a bunch of them stream in from the entrance up there about an hour ago.
But how'd they get up there in the first place?
You think they used a rope ladder like the one we found near the mortars? It's difficult to tell from this far away.
Anyway, we'll need to go in from this entrance down here. Me and Lammy could fly up there no problem, but that doesn't help the rest of you out much.
Well, you have a point, but
I'm not sure entering here is going to prove much easier for us. What do you propose we do about this huge stone door? It doesn't look like it's going to budge.
Come on, get off your horses. Me and Lammy will take care of this door, no sweat.
Oh?
We ought to dismount anyway.
What?
Amazing.
Thanks, Lammy. Huh? What's wrong? I thought we were in a hurry to catch those bad guys hiding in here.
Yeah, we are, but
what is that thing?
Sorry, can't tell you. That's classified info.
Classified?
We can continue this inquiry at a later time. Let's get inside.
So here we have an ordinary enemy for this area. It is required to fight it here. And the reason why I'm even talking during this fight is to tell you that the game has changed up a bit.
Oh no, you don't.
So if you
Stop
look
right
at the turn order at the very bottom, you'll see a green heart with a 0 there. Whoever gets that turn loses all of their CP. If you're at 200, 100, some sort of weird number above
It's my
0,
turn.
it's all gone. So in case you're wondering how to use those turns, I think I would try to line up an S-break on them
All
to
complete.
pretty much like put the game in a situation, well, all my points are gone, now you can't take anything.
It's my turn.
But going back to that scouter for a second, I'm not sure if you noticed, up until this point we always got a scouter reading on the 4 elements: fire, water, and wind.
Here we go!
When we scouted there, we actually got a reading on 7 elements: earth, water, fire, and wind, plus space, time, and mirage.
It's
So
my
while
turn.
you're fighting here, the enemies can have weaknesses and strengths to the other 3 elements. This does mix up your strategies a bit. You can see right there, Gaius lost all of his CP. I could use Wild Rage just to get some back, it's just not necessary.
Okay.
So this is going to be the first point in the game where
Here.
perhaps the 3 other elements are your fallbacks.
I can do this.
Granted, their enemy is going to be weak to one of those 3, regardless of what you fight. It's just you won't be able to keep Elisa using something along the lines
we're
of
unbeatable.
space like I've been doing with her whole golden sphere thing. So right there, the links were lost because the one girl, Millium, forced her way into the party. And in case you're wondering what the whole vanish status effect thing, or turn thing is, you basically just remove an enemy from battle. They're going to pull up a card momentarily with a list of the new things, the new bonuses that could be in effect, and you'll see it there. I will wait for those to pop up before I stop talking, but here they're trying to explain to you that the 3 other elements are now in play. I don't know if it's a first for the series, but it's a first for me. Right there you got a little bit more information towards Emma's identity. I haven't really been pointing it out as much as I did Elisa's, but I kind of just gave it away. She has church affiliation, you can tell from the magic she uses. Potentially a Grail Knight related. So status effect, you inflict a random status effect when you just damage an enemy. I didn't actually know that. Death blow is instant kill if you can connect it and the enemy is not immune. Vanish is just instant removal. Then there's a CP fill and a CP empty. And that rounds out the new bonuses that are involved. So I'll see you guys at the end of chapter boss fight now.
It's my turn. There! There! There!
What are those glowing things anyway? I'm actually rather curious myself.
It's my turn. I can do this.
It's my turn. There! There! Go!
It's my turn. Here. I can do this.
It's my turn. Go!
think they could be?
I don't know. We'd better exercise a little caution.
Yeah, right.
All right.
It's my turn. I can do this. Yes, sir. There! 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 Ahem.
How does that thing even work?
Here we go!
It's a treasure chest! Oh, we're back outside!
Ah, it's nice to be back in the great outdoors again. Oh, that's a beautiful looking treasure chest.
will never happen!
Thor's Military Academy, Class 7. And you're under arrest on suspicion of an unprovoked attack on both the Imperial Watchtower and Republican Army base.
How fitting, delegating your dirty work to these swine. But your contemptible scheme ends here.
Ah, yes. That makes sense. You're the students responsible for interfering with our work in Celtic, aren't you?
Wait, then?
Then the one who hired those bandits.
Yes, it was I. Did you think the provincial army capable of competent planning and subterfuge? You may call me Gideon, though in some circles I'm known simply as G. That is perhaps as much as you may ever know.
Some circles?
I trust that your bellicose ideals are not simply the ravings of a lone madman, then.
Your name doesn't matter to me. If you intend to shatter the peace of this land, we'll stop you by any means necessary.
Uh-huh. You're all coming with us.
Correct. It pains me to pull still budding flowers up by the roots, but they leave us little choice. I'm afraid you already know far too much to return alive. The soil of this ancient land will be watered with your blood before the day is done.
Looks like they're serious.
Then we'll have to respond in kind.
All right, let's give them a Class 7 thrashing. But remember, we need them disarmed and alive.
Okay, here we are with the first of two fights.
I do apologize, but I'm afraid I can't let you live.
So,
My
to
turn.
explain my thoughts right off the bat, I hope Gideon is not an enforcer because he leaves a lot to be desired.
There!
So starting things off with the Autumn Leaf Cutter. The reason for that is twofold. For one, I want to delay the enemy's turns, but if you notice where Reen is now in position of, I can do a line attack across the entire enemy row. And those two guys off on the side, the far left, they are not going to be doing much damage.
It's my turn.
So starting things off with Gale Stinger. If you remember, there are 3 status effects that guys can inflict just by attacking. With that movement in particular, I mean. And that poor fool was one of the victims. Now sadly, Emma does not have an impede, I believe. I didn't actually check her sword move to make sure. But the important thing is I can get out of here so I don't have to worry about my healer getting hurt pretty bad. Since we are dealing with enemies who don't have sky-high physical defense, that means I don't have to restrict Emma to solely casting. I can actually have Gaius do DPS as well as occasional support work. So I popped the Link Rush there so that I could get the extra crit damage, but you saw what I meant by Reen is now in position to swing his sword down the entire line. So the Jaegers probably thought they were clever by spreading out so far. I have the last line.
Let's go.
Leave it to me.
So right here I'm trying to hit both of them to try to incapacitate them, and this was a bit of a mistake. So I hit the one far enough back to where he's no longer going to be stuck in the hold and get no turn chain. So I pretty much status bomb these guys into oblivion, in case you're wondering. They get sealed, they get confused, poisoned, burned, they get everything under the sun. And it really just sucks to me. Unfortunately, they never get frozen. That status effect is a tad overpowered, so I imagine most bosses are probably just flat out immune to it. can see right now, Arc Slash is pretty much restricted to only hitting 3 guys instead of 4. Now, like Autumn Leafcutter, that does delay turns, so that's why I said those 2 off on the side are not going to get much done. Here I'm trying to figure out the best course of action, but it really doesn't matter, because once I lock this in, Gideon uses his impede. So yeah, the spell is lost, but like I said in earlier videos, when a spell gets interrupted, that actually reduces the delay for you to cast it on the following turn. So we can just go ahead and recast that if it truly does become part of our strategy.
Arcus, activate.
Putting Earth Pulse on Reen so that he can heal up without me having to worry about getting a tear out in advance, or immediately afterward, I mean.
Leave it to me.
And I was more curious about what this move did than anything else, that's why I'm trying to cast it. The way that Gaius works, your crash going now damage your spells in most cases, so you should only really be using magic in the event that you have a free turn and you don't have to support someone else. But on the plus side, I think we did get an overkill bonus there, since one of them was really, really weak.
Let's go. Okay. Arcus, activate.
Since Elisa has much less HP than Gaius, I have to kind of give her priority in staying healed. Gaius can take a few more hits before he's actually in bad shape, and Earth Pulse will do wonders for him due to his massive amounts of HP. Now, Reen has been blinded, you notice. As a result, I don't really want to bother with trying to use a sword technique that's just one you miss. So I swap over to my magic and try to deny the enemy an HP recovery turn, but in the end it's all in vain. You can see that the net gain was 500 hit points or so, but I did take away a turn, so there's that. Now with Reen unable to use his Arc Slash, I have to use Gaius to try to delay those turns. But now, once the blind is gone, I can just follow up anywhere as if nothing ever happened. 1 overkill achieved.
I can do this. Let's go.
And right here I'm going to have Elisa try to focus the one guy who's been in the corner, so I'm
Analyzing the
able
enemy's
to
vitals.
hammer him as bad as I did his buddies. So here I'm using the Scouter. You can see that they resist Death Blow, it looked like. It's only a 50% chance. But the other things are somewhat likely. Now, I don't know if all of those new bonuses can apply in this fight or not. I'm using an impede move there, stopping him casting. You already saw his spell, so there's no point in letting him use it again. But I don't know if any of those new bonuses can apply here. None of them actually come up, so that's why I can't tell you yes or no. One of them died.
It's my turn. Arcus,
And I just keep up the single target fire so that I can kind of conserve some EP for when I have to focus down Gideon as well as the boss fight coming out after this one. So I'm
Analyzing
not
the
sure if you
enemy's
noticed the
vitals.
trend that's developing just yet, but it seems like there's a pair of fights to
All
end the
complete.
chapter. And I don't know how long this trend is going to hold out, but I'm going to probably assume from this point on that there will always be one until something comes along to break the chain.
There!
Anyway, Autumn Leafcutter here because it'll impede Gideon. And, like I said, hopefully he's not an enforcer because he sucks. So, you'll see that he poses extremely little resistance in the grand scheme of things. It's really, really easy to get link attacks on him, and you can just work him down that way. You'll see that when I have Reen and Gaius sandwich him later on,
Leave it to me.
they can pretty much get link attacks every turn, their turn, I mean, and as a result I can just hammer Gideon like there's no tomorrow.
Go!
The way it ultimately plays out, in case you're wondering, is that I'll be doing something like 1,600 physical damage for each of their turns, plus whatever spell damage I can get out of Emma and Elisa.
I can do this. Arcus, activate. It's my turn.
So I'm going back to the easier spells, the simpler ones, because they're single target, they're cost effective, and Emma's art stat is actually impressive enough to where you don't really need the base damage to be the lion's share of your DPS.
They're only students. Here we go! Go!
Now, I will admit part of these link attacks is the detector. Flambearish has impede, in case you're wondering. That's why I'm popping this. Coincidentally, I also get a link here for a little bit extra DPS, but I was just interested in stopping the spell.
It's my turn.
So once the Jaegers are out of the picture, Gideon's a piece of cake. One thing I have to warn you about, though, is if you noticed here, the Jaegers didn't really get to do much. In Trails in the Sky, they did have the ability to inflict death blow, instant death, whenever they attacked.
It's my turn.
I couldn't see if that was indeed the case here, but you may run into that issue.
I can do this.
It's just with all the scenes, I didn't really want to have to redo this to see if they actually
Count of flames.
Granted, I was told you can hold the circle button to speed through the scenes. Just I haven't gotten around to trying that. Anyway, right here I was trying to lower him down enough so that I can get the overkill mod. Like that.
Impossible.
And that's the end of the first of 2 fights. We get a 2.7 EXP mod, and levels were gained. Mistral hit level 3. I hardly use Usus, so we'll probably never actually see this in effect unless I decide to move this onto someone like Emma or Elliot or something along those
I
lines.
feel like I'm going stronger.
That should suffice.
So I'll let the scene play out before I resume talking.
Oh, I think I know who you are now. There's a mercenary group called Bugbear made of wannabe Jaeger dropouts. That's you guys, right? I guess you were planning to start calling yourselves a real Jaeger Corps after you pulled off this big job, huh? Hey, don't you be calling Lammy a monster! Such meanies, aren't they, Lammy?
You're one of the children, aren't you? The Silver Puppeteer, also known as the White Rabbit. Am I mistaken?
Oh, wow, you've heard of me?
I certainly have. And if you're here, this is a chance I simply cannot miss. I'd be pleased to punch your ticket along with everyone else's for a one-way journey to the great beyond.
A flute?
What is that song?
Above us, watch out!
What?
Think we're looking at the face of the Jinn from the legends?
Whatever it is, it seems like it's made this quarry its lair.
Quite a hardy specimen we have here. To have survived from the times of antiquity is no small feat. No doubt its long slumber has left it with a powerful hunger. Do be sure to give it a proper meal, would you? Farewell, then. May your struggle be mercifully brief.
Did he seriously run away?
A grappling hook?
Damn.
There's no time to chase after him. We have more immediate problems.
Right. And we can't just leave these soldiers to the mercy of this beast.
Group A, prepare to engage. We need to stop that spider before it can harm anyone else.
Alright.
So I'm starting to wonder if having to finish the chapter with a beast
This
fight
one
is
looks
going to be a
dangerous. Be
recurring
careful.
theme. Last chapter was Doberman equivalents. Here it's spiders. And in case you're wondering, the small spiders go down really, really easily.
Let's go.
The big one's just kind of annoying. It has a lot of HP. It does have some AoE attacks, but its attacks are much more balanced, I'd say, than anything else we've encountered in this video. So right here I can get 3 men on the Autumn Leaf Cutter and 3 arachnids.
Now's our chance.
And you just have to slowly whittle your way through this thing's HP. In case you're wondering, it can respawn small spiders. So, I'm not gonna lie, I exploit this like there's no tomorrow. You'll see what I mean when we actually get to the end of battle screen,
It's my turn.
but I'm turning this into a massive farming opportunity. So if you notice, Ariel will be able to go off before all the spiders can move. One of them will get to move. He decides to call some
I can do
allies.
this.
I believe some of those allies actually did drop inside the Ariel radius, which is not good for him. We'll see what happens. So I'm moving closer so I can use Molten Arrow. You can see Rain was poisoned, but Earth Pulse will easily offset that. Aerial drop, and 2 spiders go down.
Go! There!
So I'm trying to line up my Autumn Leaf Cutters to get the maximum value from them to just start
It's my
chipping away at
turn.
the enemies. In case you're wondering what I mean by I exploited this fight like no tomorrow,
Oh, no,
even though
you
those
don't.
little spiders
Right
will spawn permanently, they still do have EXP value. And you'll see what I mean in that final screen, but in case you're wondering, yes, I am intentionally farming them. I never looked at what that crescent mirror thing does. Oh well. So here I'm using the rush because I wanted to kill the small spider with the overkill bonus as well as the big spider. Here's the AoE move that I was talking about. It's much more balanced. I can't really argue about that. It has the move down to limit your physical attackers in the event they get caught in
Here we
it.
go!
It would be kind of detrimental in that case. It has a nice chunk of damage to it. It's a respectable amount. It's not too much, it's not too little.
Now. Thanks. Right.
Like, all things considered, I am pretty satisfied with how this boss played out.
Let's go.
It's my turn.
It's just the infinite spawn was a little bit controversial, heavily exploited.
We're open! Go!
So right here, I'm just trying to get my I can't remember what those things are ever called. Bravery points back up so that I can do another rush attack. You can see I've cut through 1/4 of the spider's HP,
There!
making progress ever so slowly. In case you're wondering, I am a tad underleveled for this. If I had a couple more levels, I could probably do 1,000 damage with Rain easily, and that would shave a few turns off of the fight.
Now. Thanks. Right.
You can see Gaius is in pretty bad shape, so I need to give him Earth Pulse.
Huh?
This will pretty much allow him just to heal up as he attacks, because by having the most amount of HP on my team, he gets the best return from the Earth Pulse move.
Stop! Go!
And we slowly whittle away.
Leave it to me.
In case you didn't notice, the spider is weak to fire, mirage, and time. Now, due to playing Trails in the Sky, I'm very inclined to use the time element. So most of my characters do already have that. As a result, I can actually hit the spider for increased damage, and
Yeah.
well, once I start using Demonic Scythe with Emma, the spider is not going to last long.
It's my turn.
So I don't remember whose slots I unlocked the rest of.
Let's
It was
go.
Emma's or Elisa's, but
Here we go.
if you notice, they have more EP than they did earlier on in the chapter. I think it was Emma's, because she does have ingenuity equipped, so she can keep herself topped off.
Yes.
Leave it to me.
So it looks like he uses that move to keep at least 3 spiderlings on the field. The bad news is with all the AoE that's coming out, and
They're open.
I think that's the one I get ripped off.
Leave it to me.
No. Okay, so with all the AoE on the field, they are just dropping. I like to say dropping like flies, but they're arachnids. Some of my subs will shoot me out if I do not make that distinction.
Arcus, activate.
My turn.
So right here I can use Arc Slash on the crit turn. Give me some nice bonus, and also deal with the one spiral that goes all the way in the back. Might prompt the thing to make another turn to
Let's go.
bring in new spiderlings.
Now.
In case you're wondering what the resist thing is, that's referring to the death blow. I can't instant death the spider. Just like your traditional RPG boss, you have to beat them down the old-fashioned
Okay.
way. No relying on a spell to summon a Reaper to do it for you. Now right here, this backfires on me. I was not anticipating killing that little spider so quickly. As a result, the move is going to move over to the other group of spiderlings, which just sucks. This is the one where I got ripped off and hit the small one so that the spell moved away from the spider. But I did get the crit damage on Soulbore. Got to deal a flat 1,000 pretty much.
I can do this. Oh no, you don't. Stop right there. Molten Rage. Go. I'll help.
So little bits of chip damage are slowly
No.
adding up. Would have been nice if that had connected, but well.
Here we go.
Luckily, Emma has a big enough EP pool where she can actually afford to whiff like that occasionally. Right here I was trying to see if I could hit the big spider as well as one of the little ones, but I couldn't.
Arcus, activate.
Now, if you remember, the spider is weakest to fire. That's why I'm switching Reen over to the fire spells. Time is still very effective, don't get me wrong. It's just fire's just a little bit better in this fight. Now right there you got to see its AoE move. The annoying thing about this is the steal status effect. If you notice, that's on Reen. So he can't actually kill those spiderlings for me. He has to just cast and
Now.
have someone else deal with the small fire.
All right.
I will admit at this point I was starting to be afraid I was losing control of the battle, which is just insult to injury when the boss has that little amount of HP left. We're at something like 1/5 of the starting HP. Actually, at this point it's getting closer to a 1/9. Right here I was trying to see if there were multiple enemies I could hit.
Arcus, activate.
Right.
It's just trying to find the combination that
Let's
had the
go.
best yield for me.
It's my turn.
Arcus, activate.
Huh?
So we have Earth Pulse in effect now to keep her topped off. Kind of.
Now! Thanks! It's my turn.
Yeah, at this point the fight is pretty much winding down. I just have to try to min-max and figure out how to get the best yield possible.
Oh no, you don't! Stop right there! Molten range!
I have to admit this is taking a little bit longer
Leave it
than
to me.
intended because I am trying to pick up as many spiderlings over the course of the fight as I go. Ideally, I want to do a little bit of damage to this big spider while killing the small ones. So right there I found a line that actually allows me to kill the small one as well as hit the big one.
Here we go!
Falls into the two criteria I had.
Arcus.
Now, as a count of Reen being sealed, I have to just have him channel instead. On account of the thing being weak to fire, that's not necessarily a bad thing because most of you will probably have Reen with some sort of fire spell equipped.
Arcus, activate!
And in case you're wondering, the fight ends when the big spider dies. You don't have to worry about the small fry. That's why at this point I've pretty much changed gears to just try to finish off the boss. And from there, get to move on to the chapter. And actually conclude the chapter. So, watch right here. Look at how much EXP I got from this fight.
Let's keep going!
I got a 3.3 modifier, 9,999. My guys are 29 and 30 in terms of level. So if you look, they each gained about 2 levels just from this one fight. 9,999 EXP will do that for you. And you can see the Master Quartz that got boosted up with those. But yeah, if you have a little bit of time, I would recommend doing what I did because you can see it paid off massively right there.
I feel like I'm growing stronger. Nicely done.
Although you
Nice.
don't have to be 2 levels
I
below
did
the
it!
average.
That should suffice.
So that was just my discretion.
Comrade G, you've done well.
Comrade C, I wasn't expecting you to come all this way.
A leader has to make sure all the gears are moving as they should. It sounds like the plan was a resounding success.
Keep your pity to yourself. Our aim was to stir up a conflict with the Republic that would force him to let his guard down. To that end, this wretched state of affairs could hardly be called a success.
And yet, even this outcome will work to our advantage in the days ahead. After all, we demonstrated that he faces the risk of his ranks being divided without warning at any time. And neither the Icy Maiden nor Scarecrow can hope to outwit us.
You have a point. We should begin making preparations for the next step of our plan. The time has finally come to present ourselves on the world stage.
That's the spirit.
Ooh, boy. At least all's well that ends well, right? Everyone in Group A is safe, and we narrowly avoided war with Calvard. Though I can't say I was expecting the intelligence division to show up when they did. A jet black airship. Probably one of Reinford's latest models. The military uses them for reconnaissance. The nobles and the rich just use them for fun. But as for how they got one... You wouldn't happen to know anything, would you?
You really are a sharp one, Lady Sarah. It's almost troubling. I'm impressed that you could tell I was there.
I'm pretty sure you let me have that one. I felt a familiar sensation, though, just for a second. Makes me think back to this one time, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, you say?
Never mind. But you really don't know, then, where that airship came from?
I'm afraid not. I checked the Reinford Group's manufacturing records and couldn't find a trace. At least, not in the official files.
Sounds like Reinford has its own issues to deal with. Well, let's put that aside for now. I'm on my way to the settlement. What are you planning to do?
Well, I would like to give my regards to Master Gwen, so I would like to accompany you if that's all right. I can hardly wait to see the look on Lady Elisa's face when I show up.
Sometimes I actually feel bad for that girl.
And with that, Chapter 3 is done. We get our report,
Drinks are on me someday.
and now they all get added together to give us our chapter grade.
Perfect! You guys are the best!
So we get the bond bonus. A trophy will pop as I try to save, but we are pretty much done here. So until next time, I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.